Alright, thank you for sending me that. Rip man, Rip Stan the Manly. Oh yeah, Rip, bro. Hey, what is this about? A lot of people don't take this stuff. They just leave their clocks set and call it a day. I should think, appreciate that. So then you that you're paying attention. I don't even know what your settings are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. You've been so coward. Next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want. Even if it's not the correct time, you've earned it. See back to the video game. Alright, fair enough. Alright, let's do the same ending we did before I got kicked the fuck off. Begin game. The end is never, the end is never, the end is loading. Never the end is never. This game never ends. Alright, let's play. I already know the anime backstory. This game is so clear. Yeah, I like this game. It's funny.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
This game is very funny. It reminds me of Portal and Gmod and stuff like that.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You
Screw
click the
this
button to
baby.
move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
True.
I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Screw the baby. Die.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Hello, British people.
Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
British people have funny voices. Stanley Parable. I like the music.
Ah, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
Space. Puffs.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose.
True.
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley, and it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, no. No, it can't be.
It can't
It
be.
is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any...
It's okay, bro. Throw
Thank
up.
heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Yeah, let's
Preferably
rock it.
something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Stanley.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Fair enough.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay,
do it.
Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
The ball.
I'm speeding. I'm speeding.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
Boo, 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 boo.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley?
Yes.
Are you having fun? Is this a real video game?
Yes.
Well, I sure hope you're having... Hold on. What are you doing?
What did I just do? Bruh. Oh, I'm back here.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that.
No way. No way. What is this, bro? Oh. I'm just running from him. I'm running from him. Look. Look. We ran from him. We're free. We're free. He doesn't know where we're at now. He can't follow us here. Can't get us here. There's nothing he can do now. Look. You really just said nope.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Is it gonna, like, make me restart? Oh, I think it is. I think it's gonna make me restart from the beginning now. I guess that's one ending, maybe? Nope. Made me restart.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I hate Mondays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
So does it...
I realize that investing your trust in
doesn't say
someone else
anything
can be
different?
difficult, but the fact is that the story has
I'm
been
trying to
about
see if he
nothing
says
but
something
you
different.
all this time.
He doesn't say
There's
anything
someone
different.
you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
This time I'll go
Give
through
me
the
a
red door.
chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
This time I'll go through the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running
go in a
and
circle?
running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
True.
And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's find what the solution is. I wonder how many endings there are.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
What is this?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. No, wait. Where are you going?
See ya. Bye.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think... No! Oh, thank God you lived. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Nope. See ya. Goodbye.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Yes. You are.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
Too bad.
But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all.
Yep.
Well, this one is yours.
Poor guy. I heard there's a lot of ending. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Goodbye.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Dang, that's crazy. I guess that's the suicide ending. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I don't know. New content. Oh, roller coaster. New content. What is this? What is this?
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
True.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Interesting.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
True.
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Goodbye.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else. Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Doesn't like it.
It's just elevators and jumping. Is
Okay,
this what
thank you.
passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box.
True.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good.
Oh.
Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for...
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with
True.
no respect for their fan base
True.
rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make
Yep.
an easy dollar. And don't get me
Exactly.
started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
I like that.
It's my fault, Stanley.
It's okay,
I built
bro.
up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me,
game is so
why don't we just
self-aware.
reset the game?
I
And
know,
we'll
right?
try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
This
What
guy's
do you
such a
say,
control freak.
friend?
This guy's the ultimate control freak. He just really wants his story, bro. He can't get it. It's like a cartoon. Just really wants his ending. Oh. The hell? This isn't normal.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Bruh. No.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
What's in here? What's in here? What's happening? Stanley Parable.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
True.
Oh, the waste.
Oh, it's the US dollar. Don't play for 5 years. Possible to get this achievement.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable.
No
Like
way.
this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
I wonder if
It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley
yeah.
Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
it's okay, bro. No, yeah, I had a feeling it was the Gmod engine. I had a feeling.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games
This
and
is
one that
read
offers
reviews.
some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content.
It's okay,
All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Okay, bro.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
It's okay, bro. We understand.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
What the heck?
Oh,
Reviews.
no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Uh-oh.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be
yeah.
more irritating than
Steam reviews.
entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
It's okay, bro. Uh-oh.
Okay, let's see what this one says.
Uh-oh.
While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness.
Okay,
this is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh, dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
Oh.
Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Here we go.
And here it is. Go ahead.
Nope.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Oh, God.
You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
Oh, God.
Stanley, I think it's been a week.
Oh, God.
Or 2 weeks.
Torturing him.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about...
Oh, my God. Is he gonna say anything? Smart, literally. Oh, God. Smoke alarm. Someone needs to change the batteries.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed.
Just torturing your narrator. This is horrible. Yeah.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Oh my God. This is a horror game. Keep pressing it. Let's keep going. Oh God. It's literally falling apart now. Oh my gosh. It's been years. Bruh. Bruh. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. There's plant life. There's plant life. What? Yeah, I know. He's coming over. Oh, this is a horror game. This is a horror game, though. It's the back rooms. What the heck? What the heck? Oh. Could go out there. Skip. It's broken. Let's go. It's the desert. Oh my gosh. Oh my lord. All because it wanted to have a skip button, bro. That's crazy. We're stuck at the desert now. In the desert. Oh my lord. This is low-key release. I know, right? It's crazy. Crazy game. Oh, here we are. Oh, it ended. That was it. Oh, that was the end of the world. The end is never the end. The end is never the end. The end is never the end. Nope. We're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
True. New content.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
New content. Let's get new content. Oh. Let's go.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Finally. Finally, it's about time.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Yeah.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean?
I know, right?
But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
So true.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them.
Of course.
It'll all work itself out.
Exactly.
Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
True. New features. Oh, new content bus. This is sick, bro. We got a sequel and we got 2 games in one.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, this looks great. Oh my gosh, this looks great. Please no screenshots. Bruh. Sick. What's this? Baby's all crying.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Sick. It won't end. This is sick. Settings world champion, what? Oh, this place is massive. Look, he's smiling. To get a free trophy.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's a... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
No. I want it now. Give it. Give it to me. Give me the trophy. I want the trophy. I want the trophy. Dang. No trophy for me. Fair enough. Fair enough.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Let's take a look.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I like this one.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Oh, never mind. Dang. I see how it is. Look, he had the balloons anyways.
Well, actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Reinsurance bucket. Oh, okay. Let's check this out.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well,
True.
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable
Finally.
Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, The bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
It's pretty exciting. I feel more no, I know, it's a pretty comforting bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
I do. It's great.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
No.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
Jim.
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says. But no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
It's just no clips of the floor. Oh, dang it. The button's gone. There's no way for me to get it back. Is there anything under here? Oh, dang it. Bro, I want the button back. I want it back. I gotta get out of here. Shit. Seriously, it's a little bit. Yeah, I had to.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
True. True.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
Nice.
I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Nice. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. Is there any way for me to leave? There we go. Let's get it. Bruh. It's pretty exciting.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely
That is pretty
tragic.
sad. It's pretty bad video game design. Collectibles.
Now, Stanley, I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Good idea. Okay. Let's go in here. What the hell? Infinity. Jeez.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling.
Nice.
You can fall until the end of time, if
Bye.
you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Bye.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Okay.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go
No.
back to the top.
No.
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
No, I'm okay. This is fine. I like this.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Oh, here we are.
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we
That's
both
what she
said
said.
some things we didn't
Literally.
mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I want to be down here. I'm gonna sit down here.
Great. Now, I'm very excited. Oh, for heaven's... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter
Yeah, a
to
little
you
bit.
this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had
Okay.
enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this
fell.
starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes.
It's like a well
I'm
now.
starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep. even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Okay.
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point.
No.
It's more of a How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Okay. This is a nice hole. I like this hole.
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Not
Still
working.
nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix
I
this.
can reset the game.
I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
Oh.
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it
Whole ending.
than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Okay. It's an infinite hole now. Oh, it's happening. No? Here's something. Oh. What's happening? Oh gosh. Going down. It's the infinite hole. Bruh. Bruh. So epic. So epic. It's pretty cinematic. Pretty epic. Very cinematic. Oh yeah. Silly. Cameo? The video game? Yeah, this is a Stanley cameo. Look at this. What's happening? What's happening? Oh, he's crazy. What's happening? Oh, help. 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 What's happening? Oh god. Oh, Lord. Terrible. Evil. Drawing now.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley!
Oh,
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of
Oh, I
dozed
fell
off
asleep.
there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have
The game
that step.
volume just a little bit. The music blurring over your voice. Okay, but what the?
I don't know, bro. That's a good question. That's a good question.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole.
I'm in a hole,
and I'm
Andre.
looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley.
The bucket.
I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna be in this hole now. Nope, it ended. That was the ending. The whole ending. Oh, no it's not. Back here.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
I kind of want to try out the hole. I don't know why, but I just really want to see that hole again. Where's the hole? No, he closed it. Can't use it anymore. Dang. That's crazy. What's the I think I've tried everything I had again. The collectible. Oh, maybe the merch. I gotta go look at the merch. Could just walk back. No, I've gotten the bucket. The button that says gym. It's a good button. It's well designed. What's this? Did I do this one? Yeah, I did. Tried all the features. No, let's go to the exit. Yeah, let's get out of here. See ya. Goodbye.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yes. I've moved on.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Oh.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Let's go. That's pretty fire.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
a
sort
good
of...
game.
Okay, never mind. Hold on.
game.
Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Oh, here we go. Nice.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up
Stanley
to
Parable
anything.
2 for GTA 6.
I wanted more than
Literally.
anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up.
Oh, okay.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Making an appointment for a haircut.
Oh, no way. No way. It's playing the sequel now. It's crazy. That's crazy. It's a good sequel. Squeakquel.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's
Squeakquel,
job
bro. We
was
thought
simple.
of the same. Yeah,
He sat at his
Squeakquel,
desk
bro.
in room 427 and
Everyone-
he pushed
everyone loves a
buttons
good
on the
Squeakquel.
keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how
I already seen this cutscene, so. So there's the balloons.
all of his co-workers were gone. What
Pretty
could
good
it
sequel
mean?
so far.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
Bucket.
simply missed it. Stanley picked up the bucket.
Good. I like this game already.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Pretty smart bucket. Very intelligent bucket.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the
No.
meeting room.
I don't wanna.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Yes.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to
Collectibles.
him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to
Bye.
him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Bye. I'm gonna go here now. Bye.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
Bro, that's bad.
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
True.
I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
True.
Please, step in here for a moment.
No, we can't abandon. Yeah, we can't abandon the bucket, bro. It's our friend. It's a good bucket. Game show.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simply
Oh,
enough,
okay.
right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or
like
is
Jeopardy.
not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
This is gonna be intense, bro.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Mm-mm.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Bruh. Hey, no.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Bro, I'm winning. I'm doing good. Doing a good job.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. I thought it was not a bucket. I'm so sorry.
Item
Oh, it's a
4.
bucket.
Is this a bucket?
No way.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible.
Well, it's a bucket,
Let's
bro.
just move on to the next one.
Bro, am I tripping or is that a bucket? Shoot your mom.
Is this a bucket?
Except in the stream, yeah, because she's like scream. Whenever she's on the phone, she's basically screaming. Like she's really loud on the phone.
Correct. This is a
Oh, it's a bucket. Oh, okay. It's a bucket. I didn't know that. That's crazy. I can't believe I got that one right.
item 6.
No.
Is this a bucket?
No.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Rip Rivers' phone number that was. Yeah, right.
Item.
I hope
Wait,
they get
hold on. I
spam called
can't find the
forever.
next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Take your time. Bucket.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something.
Bro, there's a
Unless,
bucket right
in
there.
your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Yes.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
You're a bucket.
I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No,
Okay, here we go.
no, no, no. Bruh,
What
that's
happened?
horrible.
Is everything gone?
Oh, yep.
Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket?
Yes.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't
is.
change the fact that we haven't got a game.
Yeah, it's okay.
So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
All right, I won't
Who
mention
knows
it.
what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Here we go. Bro, this game is intense. This game is intense, bro.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Did. Wave of comfort. It's very comforting.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly
No.
to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Yes.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
I'm going.
Now pick up the phone,
Said the bucket.
pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Here I am, picking up the phone. Everything's white. It's pretty scary.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Oh, okay.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object?
No, it's real.
I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I
Speaking-
don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't
Stalking.
talk. All it would ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
Not true.
That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Fake news.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
This bucket's fire.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny
Pretty
bucket.
shiny.
Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to
It's
it.
pretty nice. It's
Yes, I
disturbing.
suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like
True.
it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally
insane.
just a bucket.
Going
Why
insane.
do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
It's a horror game.
I'm having feelings for the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes.
No.
The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket.
No.
Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it.
No.
Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
What the? Bro. It's a horror game. What the heck? Scary. Yep, we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply... The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Collectible.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh, okay.
Who knows if you already collect all of them?
I wonder. And I wonder. And I wonder. Dun 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 dun. Here.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling.
I can't blame him.
And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down.
It's the ring.
It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels
What is this game, bro?
What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back.
Is this even in there? This voice sounds
Even now,
and now
I
it
don't
does.
know who might be trying to get me.
Does something different.
What's that? Who's there?
Bro, this game is getting, I know, bro. It is. It's getting a bit crazy. No. Cool. Cool. Oh, we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had... Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Will there be something different when I come back here? That's what I wonder. That's what I wonder. Maybe it'll be the same thing. No, it's the same thing. Okay. Do something else. Oh. What the?
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd nipped. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
True.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Meeting room, oh.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Why did Sony DMC use them on? Bro. That's
Stanley
crazy.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest, and this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Yeah, I mean... Sony
No.
behaviors, bro.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall.
Oh,
You
this
see,
is
there's a
just
sign.
Yeah. The game again. Yep. Guess I gotta walk past the bucket, maybe. Or maybe take the bucket to me to the end.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Same.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No. Or. Bruh. The horror game. Alright, you have a good one, Vincent. I'll see you later. Let's suppose there's Sorry, Mary. Smelly, please. Go collect them all. See ya, bro. Walk complete this horror game. Bro, that's crazy.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No
Get my
reason
seat
to
from the
still
future.
be here.
Same here, bro. This game is horrifying. This game is horrifying.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sweet FA.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
No, it's
I never would
significant.
have thought to mention it.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Bro, the broom closet ending was my favorite.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That's crazy.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
That's
All right.
pretty long.
When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
You can stand here though. It's a nice broom closet. I like these wrenches and these boxes. This tape. I like this broom, and there's pliers up there. It's pretty nice. Take a nap.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You don't know what you can carry on. Yeah, it is. It's the only object you're allowed to carry around. Oh, I got another figurine.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that.
Stanlerines.
Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Nice. Let's go. W. Okay, bye.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that.
How did this car get
And
in?
in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
It's existential, bro.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope. Waking up.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
What the heck? This game's crazy.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It
Game
was
is so
comforting
weird.
to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Very nice. Good ending. That was very wholesome. I like that. That's good. Very wholesome game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nice office. Oh, go to the bathroom. See you.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Get smart.
This guy's got a magazine about bathrooms. It's fair, I guess. Is that Capo the Kung Fu Panda? About to get shot. Business strategy. See ya.
Ah, it's nice to be in here.
He likes the music.
Nope, that was it. Okay. Put back. Put down. Okay. Oh, we're back. Let's go. good. Nah, I'm good. There's the wall. Good room.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
5555.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. $2845.
I wonder what the combination is.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Here we are.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Figulanderines. It's a good name. Figuranderine. I think there's an ending where you can go all the way back or something. Like you go straight to the end,
Descending deeper into the
turn all the way
building,
back.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Whoa.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Nope.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity
Nope.
to turn around and get back on track.
No, I'm good.
At this
We're
point,
good.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his
Yes.
death.
I must die. Here we go. It's time to die. Goodbye. Good game. After this, I'm gonna eat lunch. Probably gonna watch some YouTube. Maybe I'll stream tonight later. Find out. Oh, what's this?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man.
Oh, God.
So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh, God. Oh, this is it.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh. What?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Bro, what is this? What is this?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Bruh, no way.
Oh, solitaire.
But this game is wild.
Warzone.
That's crazy.
Alien base.
This game is really meta.
There's a lot of stuff here. What is this?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Oh,
but
gosh.
listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path.
Bro.
Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Oh. That's crazy.
I'm dead. Now the game restarts. Alright, I gotta eat. Andre, I don't know if you're still in chat, but I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Peace.